What is this? Erin Explains? That's what we were going to call this?
That's what we're calling.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Erin Explains, the show where my friend Erin explains something to me because I'm an out-of-touch middle-aged man. And today, I should say who I am. I'm Ryan. This is Erin. What are you explaining today?
I'm explaining Sabrina Carpenter to you.
And who is Sabrina Carpenter?
Sabrina Carpenter is, I would say, responsible for last year's definitive song of the summer, Espresso, which you may have heard. No. All right. And perhaps this summer's song of the summer, which is called Man-Child. Have you heard that one?
No.
Okay. So let's go back.
Is she related to Karen Carpenter?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is she related to John Carpenter?
No.
Who's also a musician. That was not a non sequitur.
No, but she is related to Nancy Cartwright, the voice of Bart Simpson.
Oh.
That is her aunt. Some people have said that makes her a Nepo baby. I personally would think that's a bit of a stretch.
Well, she's in showbiz.
I guess. It's marginally related.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So she's been around for some time. She has 5 albums. She's 26 years old.
Wow. How long has she been around?
Well, she started off as sort of part of the Disney system.
Okay, I was about to ask. That was going to be my next question. Is she a Disney kid?
Yes, she's a Disney kid. She's a Disney kid. She was in a show called Girl Meets World when she was about 14.
Oh, was that the Boy Meets World sequel kind of reimagining?
I'm not sure.
All right.
Yes.
That's 90s. Really That's a 90s thing.
Yes,
you should know that.
I
Boy
suppose.
Meets World?
I suppose. No, I don't know that. I don't know that. So anyway.
Fred Savage's brother.
Yes. Well, so she was involved in this show, and she had a number of involvements in showbiz. She did obviously TV. She's done Broadway stuff. She's done films. She's done all sorts of different types of things, but she really kind of came into her own after the release of an album called Emails I Can't Send.
Okay.
And that was in 2020. Oh, I might have to see that because if I need a date. Sorry.
I lied earlier. None of this is getting cut out.
Please.
It's going to be 20 minutes of you scrolling for information.
No.
Expose you. It's the fraud.
2022. Okay. So she her first 2 albums, it came out, I mean, they were relatively popular, but nothing really breakout. And then she had this album called Emails I Can't Send, which has a song on it called Nonsense, which became quite popular, and then sort of led to her gaining some traction, and eventually, I mean, there were lots of things that happened, but eventually she ended up opening for Taylor Swift on the Eras tour.
Oh, okay.
Which
and then now she's gigantic.
Now she's
a made person.
Yes. Yes. So then after Emails I Can't Send, then in 2023, she came out with an album called Short and Sweet. And that is really what drove her into the stratosphere.
Okay.
And on that album, she had a number of big hits. One called Please, Please, Please. Another one called Taste. And then the song of the summer last year, Espresso. Which also was used in a Saturday Night Live sketch.
Okay. Well, maybe I have heard of it.
So maybe you have. The big thing, though, is that, yes, she's popular, she's famous, all of this kind of thing. She had this big song last year, which if you play it, you probably have heard it.
Okay.
But then this year...
Would it have played at the grocery store while I'm shopping?
Yes.
Okay, well, then I've heard it.
Absolutely.
That's where I hear
absolutely.
Music post-1995.
I bet you $1 million you would have heard this song. So then we come around to this year, and... she just this past month released an album called Man's Best Friend. Okay. And I want to show you the record cover, and I want you to react to the record cover.
Now, I have heard something about this. This is the only thing I had ever heard of with Sabrina Carpenter, was that she had an album and the cover was getting, people were getting upset about it. And the only thing I'd heard is that it had been compared to Spinal Tap's original vision for the Smell the Glove
Okay. So I'm going to show you.
And I'm only mentioning that so I can show the clip here.
They don't like the cover. They don't like the cover.
Well, that's certainly straight.
They find it very offensive and very sexist.
Well, what exactly do you find offensive?
Ian,
what's
you
offensive about
put a greased, naked woman
Yes.
on all fours with
Yes.
a dog collar
With a dog
around her
collar.
neck and a leash.
And a leash.
And a man's arm extended out up to here, holding on to the leash and pushing a black glove in her face to sniff it. You don't find that offensive?
No,
You don't
I don't.
find that sexist?
This is 1982,
That's
Bobby.
right,
Come
it's
on.
1982. Get out of the 60s. We don't have this mentality anymore.
Well, you should have
Listen
seen
to
the
me.
cover they wanted to do.
I don't
It
care
wasn't
what
a
they
glove,
want.
believe me.
Okay. All right. Woo. It's a very, 70s porn feel.
Now, does this, when you look at this image, does this seem highly erotically charged? Does it seem sexually explicit to you?
Yes.
Yes?
Well, not sexually explicit, no. Explicit, but yeah, erotically charged.
So this
Should be looking for a contact.
this raised a huge brouhaha.
Okay.
Which eventually led to her providing an alternate album cover,
Well, that's okay.
which was, as they say,
That's a fuck you.
this would be approved by God.
Yeah, this is a fuck you to people got upset by the previous
Yes,
one.
exactly.
Yeah, okay. I
So
got
people
that.
people became very, very upset.
That's more offensive. The second one's more offensive than the first one. But all right.
So people became very offended with that particular record cover, and it has sort of led to this whole brouhaha around a range of different young white women in popular music. Addison Rae, she used to be a big TikTok star. Tate McRae.
Okay.
I know that I don't know why it rhymes. Anyways,
These names.
Canadian,
Okay.
Tate McRae,
Okay.
Canadian, and Sabrina Carpenter, among others. But this big brouhaha about
Jojo Schmo.
Jojo Siwa.
I don't know.
No.
I was just throwing out a made up name, but I got close.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
no, there is
cool.
a person named Jojo Siwa. So anyways, so Sabrina Carpenter and these others have sort of been put into this. They've been part of the discourse around young women and objectification in music.
Okay.
Now this is
Is this
something
new to these people?
it would appear
These
to
are
be.
young people, I'm going to guess, who are freaking out.
Young people, critics, etc. But
Because if you grew up during like Madonna's late 80s, early 90s phase,
yes, and in fact, I would invite
it's kind of
anyone.
antiquated.
Yes, I would invite anyone listening to this or watching this to check out the Diabolical Lies podcast, which I found fascinating. I mean, the commentary that it's two millennial women talking about this whole issue with Sabrina Carpenter,
Right.
and they bring up Madonna and the 1992 publication of the book Sex. And what
Right,
is absolutely fascinating about this podcast is these two women had never seen that book before.
Okay.
And start flipping
Millennial.
through it.
So they would have been like 2-year-olds
Exactly.
when that came out.
So they start flipping through it, and absolutely their minds are blown by the imagery in this book, because anybody who's seen Madonna's Sex book, and which you can easily see now, it's a PDF. You can download it online. You can flip through it as much as you want.
Yeah.
It's not something that you have
It was
to pay.
sealed, if
It
I
was
remember.
sealed in a
the original
bag
selling, you could
with
not go to the bookstore and open it up.
No, it
they
was
didn't
sold
want
from
you-
behind a counter.
Right. Penthouse, you could pick up off of a newsstand and
Yes.
flip through.
Not this.
But
No.
black and white photos.
No, and of course had
That's
an aluminum
pornography.
cover.
That's right. That's
with
right.
stamped
That's right.
sex, and all taken by famed photographer Stephen Meisel.
Yes.
And so that book, which I think anybody who is over 40 and into pop culture at all has seen a number of the photographs from that.
Yeah.
And when you compare that to the Man's Best Friend cover,
There's nothing. There's nothing.
There's nothing. And also,
Well, I was thinking of Madonna's is it Justify My Love?
Justify My Love.
Justify My Love video that was
and the
also
erotic video.
banned. I don't remember that one, but both of them banned, and both of them having imagery that seemed at least that or more so. And it was in 89,
Nudity.
90?
1992.
Okay.
Yes, and it was actually Super 8 video that had been done during the sex photo shoots.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because the sex photo shoots were quite extensive. Apparently, like tens of thousands. I think over 80,000 photographs were taken for the sex book
Jeez.
that then was reduced to what it is,
Right.
which is still, it's quite a substantial book.
Yeah.
So
I did see it once. Somebody bought it.
yes,
And it was like, oh,
I saw it too. But what
I'm kind of disappointed, to be honest.
Yes.
It didn't live up to the hype, the
Exactly.
sealed package.
But I think that what this demonstrates and what I think is important here is that you have seen all of this before.
Yes.
So this isn't something that is actually
So
new.
I don't have to check out Sabrina Carpenter. I don't have to listen to the music. I've lived through
nice.
this before.
It's nice. It's nice.
Okay.
But it is really music that,
I can
to
just
me,
rent Dick Tracy tonight.
yes, to me sounds, actually, it's interesting you mentioned Dick Tracy, because to me, Sabrina Carpenter has not just a throwback to the 90s, because it's definitely not Madonna-esque or any of that kind of thing, but even further, almost like a Lawrence Welk double entendre kind of sexuality. The style is very much old-fashioned 1960s lingerie.
Right. Okay.
The long blonde hair.
Okay.
The makeup is very much of that era, and then even the lyrics are these kind of hokey, but kind of wonderful puns. An example is from the song Bed Chem, which is about what you think it's about. And
Bed chem?
Chem, like
Chem.
bedroom chemistry.
Chem. CHEM.
Yes,
Okay.
Bed Chem. Come right on me. I mean camaraderie. So there you go. Something like that. Then there's another one from her big hit, Please, Please, Please. I heard you're an actor, so act like a stand-up guy.
That's good.
So
that's a good
nice.
one. I like that one.
So
That's
you
pretty good.
have this type of language that is there, and it's really kind of reflecting this sort of earlier, and I think kind of almost a more innocent eroticism.
Right.
That if people are shocked by this, I think it says a heck of a lot about the situation that we're in right now, where anything that kind of goes against conservative mores are seen as shocking, when in fact this is something, especially with a white blonde pop singer, we've seen this before over and over again. Exactly.
Yeah.
And even
there's nothing new here.
No, and even between last year and this year, the sound of her new song, which many people are hailing the song of the summer, Man-Child, sounds tremendously a lot like Chappell Roan's Good Luck Babe from last summer.
Okay.
It has that kind of Hall & Oates style 80s synth feel to both of them, with the clever lyrics, etc. And it's written by the same person who wrote Espresso last year, Amy Allen, who is also responsible for writing most of Sabrina Carpenter's hits and many other hits, because as you're probably well aware, a lot of pop hits are written by the same people.
Yes.
And that's why we end up with...
That's why they all sound the same.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why we end up with situations like Tate McRae, her big song right now is called Just Keep Watching. It's from the F1 movie. And to me, and this will be perhaps a final thought for this episode.
Well, I have some questions.
Oh, you have
maybe
some questions?
Not. Yes.
Yes. Okay. The Just Keep Watching to me sounds like a rework. This is also a song written by Amy Allen, incidentally, a rework of
Burt Bacharach.
Yes, exactly.
Of the 2020s.
Exactly.
Okay.
But it sounds a significant lot like Sisqo's Thong Song from 25 years ago.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
So if you listen to it, you can feel the...
Okay. So the sexual mores of conservative that you were mentioning, I'm thinking, like, isn't this generation kind of known for not doing, like, there's no teen sex anymore, or that's become, not that there isn't any teen sex, but that's like it's less important.
Yeah.
that they're.
Well, yes, the whole idea that that Gen Z and on the young
they don't
edge,
do drugs and alcohol either.
yes, on the young edge of Gen Z, is there a lack of experimentation,
Right.
Lack of drinking, lack of drugs, lack of sexual promiscuity. This is something that lots of people talk about.
So on that hand, I concede in this being, if you've gone back to the mores of like the 1950s or the cliche of the 1950s,
yes,
then this would be shocking because that would be shocking in the 1950s. But at the same time, we're living in a day of like Pornhub and like the soft porn available to you on Instagram or TikTok or so. How on earth is this shocking to these younger people?
I mean, I think that if you go back a little bit,
and there's nothing new about women being judged.
No.
In media.
No.
Like that's like a constant true.
I mean, I think you could make the argument, like if you go back to someone like a Britney Spears, that with Britney Spears, you had this kind of sense of her being the hit me baby one more time. Right. Kind of cute.
That was the Catholic school.
Yes.
One. Yes.
Ponytails, etc.
Yes. Which seemed really like it was
girlish, etc. And it was, yes, a little bit Lolita-y, but then.
No, it seemed 100% like a Hollywood producer who made the video said, let's dress her up like this. Yes. The guys will love it.
But at the same point, it seemed to go from there to slave for you.
Right.
Snake around her neck.
Right.
At the MTV Video Music Awards. So you have this kind of disjuncture.
Where does Toxic fit into it? That's the only song for it I've ever liked.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a little bit in between, but again, it's quite a sexy thing.
Yeah.
But because now there isn't, people talk about the demise of a monoculture. You don't have these like moments where people are kind of able to completely switch up their profile, the way they present themselves.
Right. Okay.
They're just consistently there.
Right.
There isn't this like shock of, oh, this is the girl from the Disney era.
And then this is the big transition. Now she's a woman.
Now she's incredibly sexual.
Right.
So I think that it's this kind of sense that you are. We don't get that so much anymore. And to have someone like Sabrina Carpenter, who was involved in all of this kind of thing, then to kind of really push this erotica forward at right now in this very conservative time, that's the reason for the reaction.
Because it's not like she did it overnight. She was a Disney kid like a decade ago. Yes. This has been a decade-long transition. Slowly, it seems, them pushing it. Not the same as what we're talking about, where somebody's got one image, family-friendly, and then all of a sudden it's explicit lyrics because they want to go for a new market. I mean, this is a slow transition, and yet it has still shocked people.
And I also think that it has to do with the fact that we're in a space where there's a lot more, especially amongst young people like Gen Alpha and young Gen Z, of acceptance of different sorts of gender identity, of different sorts of sexuality. And what Sabrina Carpenter is doing is she is really firmly engaged in heterosexuality.
Right.
And so it's this kind of, instead of being able to put her in a box and say, well, like Chapel Roan is doing this kind of drag, talking about being a lesbian. This is something that is over here. It's not directly threatening this stereotypical heterosexual male gaze type of thing that Sabrina Carpenter shows up crawling on the floor.
Yeah. Debbie Does Dallas.
Yes.
Sexual.
But I mean, in an age where you have, you have OnlyFans, and you have people like Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips who are attempting to compete to see who can have sex with the most men in one day, which also I can say is a repeat of the 1990s when Annabelle Chong and other sorts of people were making that same attempt.
There were marathon sex things.
The marathon sex stuff of the 1990s is sort of sex as a sport kind of thing.
Well, that is what porn is.
Yes. That the fact that this album cover with a woman who is fully clothed and it has this sort of erotic tinge to it, as opposed to straight
Well, it
up.
looks like a Polaroid.
Yeah.
The lighting, the grainy quality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it certainly isn't OnlyFans. So I think it's almost, to me, it's like a safe thing.
I don't know, it seems tame.
To be upset about.
Right.
You know, like, so, I mean, the reality is, her songs are extraordinarily catchy and clever. They are well written. Amy Allen knows how to do it, you know, and the lyrics themselves, as I mentioned earlier, they're really, you know, they playful and fun.
Okay.
And I think that
they're not going to make me think too much.
No.
Okay.
No.
Perfect.
And
That's
so
what pop music should do.
Exactly. And so the idea of feeling tremendously threatened by this particular record cover or the content of any of Sabrina Carpenter's songs seems a little bit of an overreaction right now.
Okay.
And I think that that's important for us to understand.
Right.
As older people,
okay,
when we look at this kind of thing, it's not just that everything old is new again. It's that there are all of these different factors in place that are creating a response to this particular artist, who is one of the most significant pop artists really at this moment
right now. Okay.
In 2025.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like everything repeating again, because the reversal is we're older. We should be the ones freaking out about this.
Yes.
And we're like, well, I've seen this 100 times.
Yeah, exactly.
This is old news, and it's the young kids who are freaking out. That's new.
I mean, there are people in the media who are also freaking out about it, but it definitely is this like social media freak out.
Right.
You know, but I mean, it's still fueling tremendously huge levels of streams on Spotify.
Yes, that can't hurt her career
can't hurt that
at all. There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Exactly.
All right. Well, that explains it. Perfect. All right. So I don't know. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Yeah. Check us out next time.
Yes. If there's something that you want me to explain.
That's good. Suggestions. Suggestions for future things to explain. Something that you don't understand. Something you think I don't understand. Yeah. Okay. Beautiful.
Great.
Thanks.